Yo, what's good? It's Big Corleone.
Highest tolerance.
That's Highest Tolerance. This is the This Might Hurt podcast. Coming to you live. Yeah, you look good, B. Don't worry about it. You look good. Yo, it's been a minute since you've been on, bro. I mean, we've had people, you know, where's Highest, Joe? Where's Highest at? You gotta get him on. And you ain't been around, bro. So, now that you on, you gotta tell the fans, bro.
Hey, good to be back, man. Thank you for having me. As always, a pleasure. You know how life is, man. We all get caught up, but it's important that I put it like this, man. The biggest reason I do this is just to chop it up with you, man. Love the fans, love the support, but it's really to catch up with you, man. Your guests, your fellow hosts. I know some people pop in and out, So, but you can count on me for that tight circle of people that'll pop up, man. So yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, what's the weather like down there?
Yo, it's brisk, man. It's in the 50s, but I don't want to act like a spoiled brat,
Yeah, it's about 29 right now. It's fucking brick out there, bro. It's brick.
I got 80-degree weather to look forward to this weekend, so that's the dope part about over here.
Nice. Fucking nice. Spoiled motherfucker. So anyway, bro, so we're waiting on TG, she's not gonna be able to make it tonight. She's got some pressing issues she's gotta take care of.
Shout out TG.
Yeah. Dubs is gonna be here. He's not feeling well either. He's a little bit under the weather. He's gonna try and pop in. Oh, hold on 1 second. We got Lady G in the building. Hold up. Yeah. Lady G was good.
Not much. Having some trouble getting on. Nice to meet you, Highest Tolerance. Finally get to meet you.
Peace, my sister. Happy holidays.
You as well.
Yeah, so I was just letting everybody know that TG, she's got some pressing issues she's taking care of, and Dubs, he's not feeling too well, so he's not gonna be here. So it's just gonna be us three tonight. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna do what we do, how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy.
Sounds like trouble already.
Yeah, it does sound like trouble already. So this is a Q&A episode. I got a bunch of questions from fans that I've gotten through email and shit. So I don't even know where I put the book at. I wrote them down there. I didn't print them out. I had to write them shits down because my printer's acting stupid. But yeah, Lady G, she, she's very knowledgeable. She knows her shit. You know what I'm saying? Highest Tolerance, he knows his shit. So I know it's about time he's been here. There was a few times, you know what I'm saying? And we were all just sitting here like, yo, man, what's up, guy? You know what I mean? Like shit. But it's all good. He's here now. We ain't gonna complain about it. You know what I mean? So first topic. This is all right, hold on, let me grab this motherfucking book. All right, here we go. In my Marvel book. All right.
Your Marvel book.
I'm not going front, man. Look.
It's nice to see you're always gonna be a Toys R Us kid, Corleone.
No doubt. All right. So first question. How do you deal with a woman who has a man but wants to fuck around with you and purposely starts fights so she can come see you? How do you deal with a woman like that? She's purposely starting fights with her man. She wants to be with this other dude, right? That's what I'm getting from it. She wants to be with this other dude, but she has a man. So she's purposely starting fights with this dude to come back. I think didn't I answer this once before? I think that's the same chick. Hold on. What's her name?
Chivalry still exists. I'm gonna let Lady G take the floor first on this one.
All right, so yeah, it's from the same. It's actually from the same person. I think the same situation going on, but this time he's asking that what does he do about the lady that keeps starting fights with her man to come see him, but he feels bad for the dude, but he still wants to fuck around with this chick. So I don't know. Lady G, you're the woman, you're the head lady in charge. What's up? Hello?
All right. Well, you know me,
All right.
Corleone. I'm all about doing what. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm always about doing what's right. My thing is accountability. You need to hold the woman accountable for her behavior, but you also need to hold yourself as the gentleman or as the man accountable for what you do as well, because people can only do to you what you allow them to do. So if she continues to start these fights in order to go see the other dude, whichever dude is the one that knows about it, if they both know about it, unfortunately, she's got to be called on the carpet, because you can't have your cake and eat it too and expect everything to turn out all right.
That is the problem, because
my thing is, I always want to be the choice, not the option.
Right. You want to be the choice, not the option. That's that your boy Drake says that highest. He has that track.
My boy
More than
Drake.
just an
Dude,
option.
I'm 45 years old, bro. You can't. Drake could be my son.
Oh, that's absolutely. your son Drake. He's.
I think Drake could be all of our sons.
Yeah, he could definitely be. His son's my grandson.
My man said your boy Drake. You tripping, bro. You tripping. But I get your point. Now back to the topic. I mean, gosh, it sounds like a situation that I don't want a part of. So I'll give a couple of different perspectives, and I'll piggyback on what Lady G was saying. I mean, obviously, if from a woman's perspective, you want to be the top choice. If you're putting yourself in that predicament, I think you sort of take that away or take that off the table. If you're trying to play both sides of the fence, from the male perspective, the guy on the other end, not the husband, I mean, it's got to be worth something long term to be able to deal with that kind of drama, if you even want to go there. Me personally, I wouldn't. It's not something that I'm not built for that. I'd rather keep things on the up and up, keep them honest. If there's a real connection there and there's something about two people and there's a connection, and again, you both parties are going to be risking a lot there, when you're jumping into that kind of situation. If you're willing to break up a marriage or even be a part of that on either side of the fence, you have to be ready to go the distance. If not, then don't play that game. Don't play that game. It's not worth it. And then it also comes down to what age you're talking about too here. Are we talking about 20, 25-year-old people? Are we talking about, middle-aged people? Is it a young marriage, an older marriage? So there's a bunch of different perspectives. With me personally, I would stay away from that. I practically have my whole life. That's one thing I really wasn't into, even as a youngster. When the opportunities were there, I really try not to mess around with married women, man. It wasn't worth it. But putting that aside, you're gonna get 5-6 different perspectives on this, just depending on age has a lot to do with it, maturity, and then what part of that triangle are you playing? What angle are you? Are you the point, which is the woman, or are you one of the two corners as one of the two men, and so forth and so on? But dang, that sounds like a lot of drama.
Yeah, it does sound like a lot. I'm trying to figure out a good way to put this screen. Yeah, because you're a little cut off on top, highest.
I could just do this.
Oh. Oh shit! I don't even know why.
I'm trying to keep the Christmas tree back there, man. I'm in the spirits, man. It's the best time of the year. I love the holidays, man.
Oh shit! I could have just said, "Yo, lift up your camera," but now I'm trying to figure some shit
out. Big facts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I mean,
I think it definitely depends on what the situation is. Like if if the woman is serious about her primary situation, then you have to wonder, what is your reason for trying to get into a secondary situation? And then for the secondary situation, what is the goal of it? Is it, are you actually digging each other, or is this just a physical thing that's happening? Because unfortunately, and I'm not a man, so I can't speak, but I can, you know, with my profession and everything, I can kind of speak a little bit on it. It's like, well, if you're trying to have something serious with this woman, you're not going to want to be having her, you don't want to share her anyway. So you're not going to take her seriously if she's willing, because I'm sorry, the way you get somebody is exactly how you're going to lose them. If she's going to step out on her man to be with you, don't think she's not going to step out on you to be with somebody else.
Wasn't no part of that. Wasn't no part of that. And it happens, you know, it happens. It could happen in a relationship where, you know, people have been together for a long time, and family ties, and you know, life makes it harder to detach yourself from that, you know. So it really depends, man, on what's going on and what the relationship is. But the moment that becomes a reality, most of us as humans don't tend to accept that right off the bat, and just, you know, why fight for it. It's very seldom that you see somebody just cut the umbilical cord and walk away and take things for face value right on you know, on site. Like, the moment that you find out what's going on, if you really want the best for yourself, you just gotta be ready to walk away from it right there and then, and not even look back. It's not worth it. Not in this day and age, man. Not in this day and age. That's just unnecessary drama. Like, think about it. Why do you want to put yourself through that?
Word.
Who would
Can you
want
guys
to put themselves through that?
can you guys see the chat room, or it's just me? Is
It's
there
just
oh, that's not good. I thought everybody could see it.
Nope.
Damn, it sucks. Because damn, sure. Oh, all right. Oh, I know what I'm doing here. Hold on.
Like, wouldn't the honorable thing to do would be like, yo, listen, man, I'm feeling somebody else, you know? I want to take the time out to do this. And, you know, if I don't know, at least leave the door open. Like, why go behind somebody's back? Just be honest with the person. Most people accept it anyway. Let's be honest. Like, how many people get cheated on and then they go back?
The hell?
Just be honest up front.
What the hell happened?
Women are to be seen, not heard. That sounds like Dubs. What do we got, a Dub fan?
Lady G, what's up?
I'm coming. I'm trying to.
Nah, but you popped up twice on the.
Yeah, that's because I was trying to join on my phone because my computer is trash.
Oh, all right.
La computadora es basura.
So now I know.
Mejor.
Now I know how to work the chat board. So I get the chats over here. Let me see, and then let me see. And then I could put them on. I could put them on the screen so I could see them. So that's how it works. And then yeah. So that's we all know who that is. So
women are to be seen and not heard. I'm sorry, I don't believe that, not one bit. Not one bit. I've worked too hard in my life, blood, sweat, and tears, education, divorce from a 16-year marriage. No, I'm definitely to be seen and to be heard.
You tell them.
And my thing is, and like I said, at the end of the day, I'm all about accountability. If you're willing to do the messed up thing, then you got to be willing to deal with the consequences. And sometimes you go out on a limb and you're not communicating with your partner. So, you know, correct.
Well, that's the whole thing though. The whole thing is communication. Because if you cannot communicate how you feel, what you're thinking, and what you're going through, it's just not going to work. You have
No.
to be able to
And if
sit there and say, baby, look, you know what I'm saying? This is what's
I
up.
think people overthink emotions, right? And this is what I mean. Logic is this: if you're in a relationship and you get an inclination, the sense, a feeling, the moment that you want to be with somebody else, and you really want to act on it, your safety net will always be just being honest and being like, all right, this is what I
yeah,
want to do,
yeah.
and move on with life and see what happens. You have a better chance. You have a better chance, let's just say, with that person that you're expressing that to long term, if it doesn't work out with the person that you're leaving them for, simply because you were honest. And if you don't, you know, I'm not saying I will go back to that, but if you don't, at the very least, like, you were just honest and you kept it real with them, and more importantly, you keep it real with yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the problem. People,
No,
you know, people, like, you're only lying to yourself, man. How selfish can someone be?
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
that's what it comes down to. So to me, that's just overthinking your emotions. Oh, I want this person, I want that person. Just slow it down. Think logically, think about yourself, right? Build some value in yourself, have some pride, have some integrity, you know. Think about the other person a little bit. You know, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. So by acting on it and expressing that to the other person, you're doing that. You're putting yourself first. You're saying, yo, my feelings are most important. And sorry I'm gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna be honest with you and I'm gonna let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And if that happens, you know, I could, you know, it's just, it is what it is. Lies to the female,
Lie to
waste
the
her time.
female, waste her time. Wow. Wow.
Nah, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. I don't agree with that.
And that's
Yeah,
that's
I don't
how
agree with
we
that. I
that's
don't
but
agree with that
yeah,
either.
that's how we get the hurt people hurting people. It's like we still keep
stay
doing.
toxic, kings.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen, yo, Derek Sanders, man, I ain't mad at you, dog. You know what I mean? I don't judge, man. It's just certain things don't work for me, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's not my cup of tea, man. Is not. But you know, I know plenty of people that do what they got to do, and uh, and that's that, and that's that. Waste her time, 2024. My man going there. Oh snap!
Oh snap! Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
wild. That's wild. That's
Yeah.
wild.
So, but yeah, like I said, you know, like yeah, like you said, I'm a feed off what you just said about you know, it's kind of like tempering your emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's true. You gotta, especially with a situation like that, where you gotta really be easy because you know you to be my personal opinion is you don't do it. Period. Don't even get yourself into a situation like that. Period. Because for one, like you said, like Lady G said, the way you get them is the way you're gonna lose them. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that she's stepping out the way she's stepping out and doing it how she's doing it, that only, you know, tells you about her character, about what kind of a woman she is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, instead of being honest and saying, you know, to her dude, like, yo, this ain't working out between us, you know, whatever, whatever. You know, we got to find a different way. If we can't find a different way, we got to split. You know, and that's just how it is, man.
Does
You got
anybody here know somebody that left for somebody for their side piece and it ended up working out and they built something from it? I mean, if I sat here and thought about it, I might be able to come up with like
Well, let me
maybe.
just tell you, Tolerance. Like I said, I was married for 16 years. My ex-husband married my daughter's madrina a month after we got divorced. And 4 years later, so far, they're still together.
Wow. See, that's why I asked, because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. There it is. How's that for a personal experience?
Yep. Oh, believe me, I got plenty of personal experience. But my thing is, I know, and like you were saying, Tolerance, it's about, the self-respect, the self-worth, right? So when any person, woman, man, whatever, when you get to a point, not to be cocky, not being conceited, but when you get to a point where you actually know your true value, the things that you bring to the table, right? Then the truth is you're not going to be afraid to lose people by being honest with them, because again, you know your value. And my thing is, no relationship, no matter what, is ever going to work, not even a jump off is going to work without adequate communication. Because if you don't set those expectations, if you don't be honest with each other, my thing is, tell me the truth that hurt me right now instead of wasting my time, like Derek said, wasting my time and causing a whole lot more. You know what? I've only got so many days in my life. I don't know when I'm going, but I'm going to spend every one of those days not wasting my time because I've got a life to live. I've got happy to be. And again, I know my value. I know my value as a person. I know what I've worked for. And most importantly, and what people don't understand is you want all these things, but what are you willing to give? So my thing is, I'm willing to give someone 110% of myself. So of course I'm going to expect that back. So there's no way I'm going to disrespect myself by thinking that I need to step out because I'm not receiving clearly. Because if you're stepping out, there's something missing from what
Yeah,
you currently have.
some definitely lacking if he's stepping
Yeah,
out for sure.
something's missing. Um, and unfortunately,
Can it be time though? Sometimes it's just time takes its toll on people. And people, the one thing with long with relationships that are long term, that started at young ages, is that you don't necessarily evolve into compatible people at some point. It's a reality. It's not that something
definitely
is missing.
people change.
Right.
But again,
Basically.
if you're not communicating that because when people change, we begin to miss something that we need, or we need something that that person never had when we change. But if we're not communicating that, because I'm sorry, any relationship, even the ones that are 50, 60 years long, the important piece is work. People are not willing to put work in anymore. They want to waste
How
each
how
other's
how
time.
how many of those relationships that are that long have at that stage of the game have real, is it 50 years because they just build a really big family and have kids and grandkids, and you know they back in the 50s, or
No,
you
Well,
know
believe it or not, um, I was a therapist, a marriage and family therapist for 20 years. So I've heard.
I'm going to give you the floor, but what I'm trying to say it basically is I
People
think
are stuck.
that the percentage of relationships that start at a young age, let's call it high school sweethearts,
Yeah.
right? For now, let's say high school sweethearts into middle age relationships with kids, potentially grandkids. How much of that relationship was built on real love in comparison to circumstances?
let's
True,
ask Marty
Obviously.
McFly. He knows.
true. And that is very true.
This was it.
So
But
then what happens when people, like you said, we grow up, we change, and
But
and then we become people that maybe we couldn't at an earlier age because of responsibilities,
but peep,
the
but peep
family,
this.
grown kids.
Let me. I'm gonna give Lady G the floor too. But hold on one second. I also think it's a it's a really big generational thing also, because you see a lot more marriages that have lasted throughout the years from the older generation than you do with the generation now, because the generation now just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, my grandparents were married for like 60 years. They couldn't stand each other. I
But
get
what?
I get what you're saying.
it was more about responsibility. I get it. I get it.
You
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
understand what I'm
saying.
saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Like,
honestly, I'm glad I met my wife. I married her in my 30s. It was a big difference, man.
Oh yeah.
There was a big difference
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
definitely.
Like
Yeah.
I could really say, yo, we gonna be together as long as God wants us to be together.
Mm.
But
But again, it's about that
is
maturity
she
and
standing behind you with that knife in your back, making sure you say the right thing?
but it's
Oh,
but it
shit.
is about that
hold on,
communication.
it's never about the knife at the back. It's just how hard they twist it.
Oh, that's true because everybody will disappoint you. You just have to decide who's worth the disappointment. But because we're all human, we're human. But yeah, that totally makes sense, Tolerance. That totally makes sense because circumstances sometimes put people together. But again, it's about the communication and recognizing self-awareness, recognizing that, you know what, you and me as a couple, you and me as individuals, we have grown, maybe evolved, become different people. It's about being honest with each other that, you know what, we're not the people that met, because you know we're different people now, we have different needs now, then we need to call it, because you got to be honest with yourself and honest with that other person. And it's better to call something when it's time to go than to just continue to stay in it. Because one thing I have learned is, like, a lot of people stay together for the kids, you know, and for those connections that you were talking about, you know, the wrapping things together. And yes, it is a lot harder to pull something apart than it was to put it together. I kept saying it was cheaper to keep me, but the thing is, you know, both people have to be in that mature place where they're saying, you know what, I'd rather stop this now and remain cordial with one another, be able to be good co-parents, be able to communicate with each other, instead of getting to that point like your grandparents who, you know, like freaking hated each other. And I know that feeling. My abuelita, God bless her soul, she is still alive at 96 years old.
Amen.
And her and my grandfather are now living in separate apartments because her apartment building said that he had to go because they can't stop screaming and hollering at each other, you know, and getting on each other's nerves. So it's like they even have that new thing now. It's mostly in the Caucasian families where it's like we're married together, living apart type of thing. So they've come up with all kinds of newfangled stuff. But my thing is, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the same thing.
But pardon my interruption. I respect.
No,
I respect the way you phrased it and being politically correct, but that is some white people shit. That. What did you just say? Do people marry but living separately?
Yes.
Again, I respect you being politically correct with the Caucasians. That's some white people shit. What are you talking about right there?
Well, you know, we talk about people's personalities, and at all times, I display conduct befitting a lady. So,
Indeed.
All right.
Indeed.
That's how it is.
That's one thing about me. That's why, like, when Dubs is here, I don't do a lot of talking, because you know what? I grew up in Camden, New Jersey, right? I'm from South America. So the ghetto fabulous is in me, but I am choosing not to be that woman, because
Camden is tough.
I aspire to better things, and I'm part of an organization that, one of our credos is always displaying conduct befitting a lady. And one thing I will always be at the end of the day is a lady.
Nice. Very nice.
Can't
be mad at that.
Nope. Can't be mad at that at all. Let me ask there's another question here, but this one has to do with child support.
Oh no. You just hitting all my spots today.
This should be easy.
Is that he said is that true?
Gonna be fighting on this part.
He says, is it true that there's some government lady trying to abolish child support to make it a choice for men or women to pay child support instead of being forced to pay child support?
Well, technically they choose now, because you ain't got to pay it. There's a consequence if you don't, but you don't have to pay it.
And you also have the right to sign off on the child and give up your parental rights.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I was trying to look up, because when I read the question, I was trying to look up. There was an article. I forgot who the lady is though. There's a councilwoman or somebody in the legislature. That's how you pronounce it, because you know I got big lips, so you know my shit comes out sometimes. but saying that they want to make child support a choice. They don't want it to be forced, because a lot of parents are getting screwed by the system. So they want to give them the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to pay child support. But
the child didn't get to choose if they existed.
Exactly. I agree.
And I'm sorry, it ain't about the okay, so I work on this on the daily, okay? It's not about the parents. Once you have that child, it's about what the child deserves and what you are responsible for as the person who made that so-called adult choice that brought this child into the world. I don't
So,
care if it's the man or the woman. Both
I
parents are
all right,
responsible to take care of that
totally agree with you in terms of the
completely.
responsibility, but at the core of the question, let's talk about
the system. It's
the
messed up.
system and the actual the money aspect, right?
Yeah,
The child support is abused on both sides of the spectrum, not
it is.
just by the payer but by the receiver as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Not on all occasions, but
Talking about getting in it. Yeah, I know, bro.
it's a real issue, and it's a topic, right? So
Yeah,
with that said, if the only time, look, if whoever's responsible for paying the child support is working at any capacity, let the system play it out, right? You show up to court, you take your pay stubs, they're going to be more than fair. And what that does is two things. A, it prevents you from any kind of legal problems.
right.
And B, you are contributing to the child in some capacity. Now,
Ex-
the fact that people base their contributions on how often they see the kid or whether they don't see the kid or how much, whatever, that's a whole different ballgame. But the system, although it has flaws, it is designed to protect the individual. That I believe in. And you
Yeah.
have to cover yourself, because if not, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up in jail.
Yep.
You know, and at that point you can't do anything for anybody. So, I know it sucks sometimes. Parent is paying child support, they don't get to see the kid, whatever the case may be. Sometimes they pay it, the money doesn't go to the kid. The person receiving it, does whatever they have to do with it. It's so all over the place that you have to follow the system. Now, the responsibility, like Lady G said, of course, you bring a child into this world, the responsibilities are not to be like second guessed. But as far as like how the system works, you got to believe in it, because it's the only thing you have to protect yourself as the
Exactly.
person that's paying it.
Now,
So
me personally, I mean, I've been paying child. I paid child support since I was like 16, 17 years old, so I know about the child support system. Tolerance knows. So anyway, um, I think personally, I think child support shouldn't just be a financial obligation. You know what I'm saying? I think it should. I think a lot more men or women that pay child support should also, if they're not already, be involved emotionally, you know what I'm saying, with their child, with their children, because a lot of parents out there, because of the fact that they're having trouble with the child support system, they don't interact enough with their children and get emotionally involved with their children, because the parents who get that said money either feel like they got gypped or they got stuck and want more from the parent that's obligated to do
But
so.
how
I
about
think, but like I said, I think it should be more of I know it's a financial obligation to some parents, but I think it should be more than just financial.
okay, so what if you're the type of dad that could be there for your kid every day but you can't pay?
That's what I mean. That's the problem, because they'll
Right.
be in jail.
And then the mom doesn't see that, or the dad, vice versa.
That
I don't want to implicate
that's
one parent over the other.
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. Like, if you could be there if you could be there physically and emotionally for a child but can't pay up, you end up in jail. What happens to the kid then? You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, but
Like,
So
what if the person that has the what they call the primary custody of the child, who has the child the majority of the time, if they're not able to like legitimately, okay, so the system is all over the place. It's all over the place. We can have a scenario for each one, but So you are there for the child every day. You show up every day. You're a great co-parent. You do all this wonderful stuff. The unfortunate thing is, without that financial situation,
None
one,
of that holds weight in court. None of that. All that
oh
showing
yes,
up every day,
definitely,
all that
definitely.
good parenting, none of that will hold weight
None
in
of it.
court.
It
And the
doesn't.
judge will tell you, go sit in the cell while you figure out how to catch up on your arrears.
Oh,
Yep.
definitely. But I'm saying
Yep.
the situation, like why what he's saying wouldn't work is because at the end of the day, that child still needs to eat. That child still needs to have clothes. It doesn't matter which parent's providing it. If nobody's providing it, the child at the end of the day is the one that's going to suffer. But the thing is, there's definitely a problem. Definitely a problem. First of all, because we're still trying to catch up from those 50s where the mom was the primary parent, raising, but they also weren't working then. The system still has not caught up to the fact that we now have fathers who are taking great care of the kids, and then the mother's the one that has disappeared. So there's both in every situation. There's good mothers, good fathers, the co-parenting, whatever. But what the most important thing is, a lot of people get in their feelings, and it's not about the kid at the end of the day. It becomes about what I can do to hurt you because you apparently hurt me, and I want to make you pay.
That's a good point, because honestly, if that were the situation, that the person was showing up every day, even though that they weren't able to be financially responsible at that point in time, and there was a legitimate reason, then why the heck are you not in the relationship and in the house and as a
Yeah,
unit to begin with? Like, so I guess we're asking people to be what they couldn't be when they had the opportunity to do so. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So yeah, people are gonna just act the way that they act. And there are people out there that have kids and they semi care about them, they don't care about them, they fully care about them. I could tell you something at some of my darkest moments in life, man. I would scrape up whatever I could, take the bus, go pick up my son, get us whatever we could to eat. I didn't have a car. I was sharing an apartment with three of my cousins. I had a bedroom, but I would make sure that no matter what I did, I went and so now I'm going to talk to you from my perspective, right?
okay.
I did that. I was there. I picked them up every day. I traveled for long distances to go get them and make sure that I was there and I wasn't a weekend dad. And I was working, but I had bills to pay and I was paying my child support, but I fell behind.
Mm-hmm.
And when I showed up to court with half of what I owed, the judge told me, you can go sit in the cell and figure out how you're going to get me the other half.
Half right. Yeah.
And you want to know something? I'm not a bad father. I was never a bad father. I was going through a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being that once I got through that boy came and lived with me, and he spent from his young teenage years into his adulthood with me.
Yeah.
So it's a messed up situation. That's why I tell you, you got to play the court system to protect yourself. It
Yeah.
wasn't even like I was dodging it.
Right. Right.
It
You
wasn't
just
even like I
weren't
was
able to
dodging it.
just weren't able to
Three K,
meet
three
those.
K's in arrears at that time. I
Yeah.
was younger. I didn't have that kind of money. I showed up with 1,500. The judge told me that.
Yeah.
I sat there. I was like, I, I don't even know how I'm gonna figure this out. But luckily, my brother got wind of what happened, stepped up. I handled that. But
It didn't make it
moving
in.
forward,
Yeah.
like it was like you can't even be in arrears and try to like renew a passport in this
Nope.
country.
Nope.
You
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 can't
want
do
to
it.
leave the country and go on
You can't buy a
vacation?
car. You
You
can't do
can't you
nothing.
can't do squat. You want to go on vacation, God forbid,
Mhm.
and your passport's expired and you try to renew that, and you hell no.
Don't try to do your income tax because they
Th-
take that
th-
too. Don't win the lottery,
So
bro. Yeah.
unfortunately,
Don't get
as
married
det-
because her stuff's tied too.
as detrimental as it is to the child to to not pay it, you have to do that's important. Of course, you have to take care of the child. But if you don't do it through the system, then as a parent, you're really not giving yourself the best chance to be there for that kid, because the
Right.
system will swallow you up.
Yep.
And then you gone.
Yeah.
Then you ain't there for the kid. Now
So
all of a
even
sudden you
devil's
got You
Even
could be,
devil's advocate.
you could have no kind of criminal record, nothing. Now all of a
Right.
sudden you're in jail.
Yep.
Now you come out of jail. Now you're trying to get a job. You get fired from whatever job you have. Like, you know, to
Yep.
me, those extremities didn't happen.
Absolutely.
But that's the reality of life.
It
Yep.
is. It is.
So I got to put that slightly ahead of the needs of the kids, because if I can't be out there doing the best that I could for myself, how am I supposed to be the best that I can for him or her?
Yeah. And when guys or even women, they kind of get mad, like, why I'm giving, so I'm giving the other parent money, cash money directly, right? Why do they got to put me on child support? I put it like this, right? Because I'm in the middle, like I'm that happy medium person. I say, you know what? Even though this is a sucky situation, you might want to be on that probation child support, because at the end of the day, you've got paper. You've got paper that says, you know what, when mom's bad mouthing or dad's bad mouthing me, when the child grows up, you can go right to that child and say, you know what, I'm not going to negate what anybody has said to you, but let me show you something. Here are all my receipts, all of my pay stubs, all my paperwork. I want to show you that although I may not have been as active as the other parent, I still took care of you. I still was a part of your life. So it's like having that paper trail is helpful in so many different
In a
ways.
court of law, nothing that's documented through the state or child, or whatever, a family court division,
Okay.
it's not worth it. It doesn't count. I know somebody who got clipped, was doing it, let's call it off the books, because at that point it's almost like a business.
Yeah.
That's how wicked the system is. I personally try to avoid it. With my oldest son. He's 21, and you want to know something? It was going good because I didn't have to get the system involved. And can I tell you something? It got actually better when I did get the system involved.
That's what I'm saying.
Because then it wasn't subjective. It
Right.
wasn't when I thought, how much I thought was right based upon
Right.
anything.
And there was no opportunity for her to come back and say, you ain't doing nothing.
Exactly.
That's what I said. There's the paper trail. The paper trail proves it all. Like apart from the court, apart from the court part.
But if you're making the efforts to do the right things and communicating with the court systems,
Yeah.
At that point, the court systems are communicating with the parent. That's the other thing too. It makes things so black and white. It clears up a lot of that gray area.
Yeah.
And a lot of times
people's feelings are not involved when you're told this is
a lot of times the parent that's seeking the child support ends up getting screwed, because then that's the part what I mean about it doesn't become subjective anymore, right? Because a real G like me knew what I had to do to maintain my son's lifestyle. My son traveled the world with the help of my current wife now.
Okay.
Help travel the world while he was competing at a high level, never lacked anything, always had the freshest, whatever we could give him, more than I ever had, more than any of us had. And what ended up happening is when we got the courts involved, they looked at it through the numbers.
Yeah.
And through the numbers, it ended up being less.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being less. You follow? So at the end of the day, it's protection all the way around, man. That's what it is. But I don't involve one thing with the other. That's for sure. I wouldn't let money. If I was the one that was the primary guardian, that within itself would prove to me how much of a good father I am, and that I could do without the child's mom. If that were the case, I'm not speaking from a personal standpoint. But if it was like that, like if the courts gave me full custody of a child, because that's so hard for a man to obtain nowadays. That means
it's hard. Yeah. Nowadays, most things are all joint. Everything is joint.
Yeah. That means the mom's got to be, pardon my French here, a POS. I'm just being honest.
Well,
For a father to be granted full custody of a child, full. I'm not talking about joint.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that's happening a little bit more often nowadays,
yeah.
though.
It is. It is. It is. There are women just abandoning their children.
Oh yeah,
But I'm saying more now than ever, because in the past the system was definitely weighted towards the woman in benefit of the woman. But and it's taken a long time to even get where we got now. But the system, at least the judges that that I know, are starting to come back like, no, I'm not taking the father's rights away just because you think it's in the kid's best interest. I'm going to look at the facts and say, no, you're going to both have joint custody. You're both going to be responsible. You're both going to have a say in how this child is raised. And if either one of you violates that court order, guess what? You're going to have to come back in front of me, and we're going to have to discuss that. So more and more, and I'm happy about that. It's not where it needs to be, but more and more, parents are getting equal rights. And you can't, where back in the day a woman would be like, well, I just want to have full custody because I want it. No, it don't work that way no more. It don't work that way no more unless you can prove that that other parent is truly unfit to be a parent. You're not taking away their parental rights.
No, I think if the individual, look, right? Reality is things don't work out. We get
Mhm.
it. People have children for all different kinds of reasons. But if you, and just because relationships don't work out doesn't make anybody a bad person. There
Nope.
could be a plethora
And it
of
could be a
reasons.
wonderful parent still.
Yeah,
Yep.
just do the right thing. If you
Yep.
do the right thing, and everybody knows what the damn right thing is, if you do the right thing, at the very least, you can minimize or potentially eliminate the drama.
Yep.
And if you really, really care about the kid, that is the most important thing. Yes, they need the necessities, but the most important thing for children nowadays, especially nowadays, with all the stuff they're getting bombarded with, or at least people are trying to bombard them with, is that they have a safe place and somewhere where they can feel that they're themselves and they're loved.
absolutely.
There's modern day families left and right. I've
Yeah.
seen families nowadays, like, I'm talking like the dad is there with like a 2-year-old son and a 7-year-old son, and his girlfriend is getting pregnant, but like the other kid's mother is like in the
That's
baby shower.
yes. Yes.
Do you
They're
follow
all
me? Like,
co-parenting. Yes.
so I totally get it, but it, unfortunately, the world is selfish, and
Hmm.
more people than not don't think that way. So that's why you got to appreciate good parents. A good parent is a good parent. It's got nothing to do with anything other than the effort that they put into their kids, and you
Yeah.
know them truly trying to just do whatever they can for them. So it's not easy. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's got their own way. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is if you're just trying to make it a little bit better for them than you had it, then that's all that we can do. You
Hmm.
know, that's all that we really can do, man. But I love kids. I have three of them. I have three of them. Two of them are still on the younger side. One's an adult, but the other two are still young. So I got some
Yeah,
raising to
well,
do still.
yeah, I got a bunch.
Yo,
I got all
congrats, right? Sixth grandchild.
six.
Yo, my man, bro. That is amazing. I'm not there
Mm,
yet. I don't have
no.
any. So
Yeah,
yeah, I got a long way to go before I catch you, man. But damn, that is amazing, brother.
yeah, man.
That is amazing, bro. God bless, man.
I know
Yeah.
you broke.
I'm not paying child support. Yeah.
But Christmas is coming.
That's why she said, I know you broke. Oh shit.
Yo,
No,
man.
on the real though, like my oldest granddaughter, she's 8. She's in jujitsu. She's just jumped up another belt. Um, my grandson will start his jujitsu career next on his next birthday. He'll be 5, so he'll be able to start then. And
Bro,
then,
are you kidding me, man? Wait, dude, you waited until the show to tell me this stuff? I'm
yeah,
really not. I got a bone to pick with you, man. You know how much I love that stuff, dude.
yeah, my
That's
granddaughter's a
awesome, bro.
beast. Yeah, my grandson will be involved when he turns 5, and the other ones are younger. You know what I'm saying? They're all real little. You know,
Yo, some advice. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be involved, um, it's a long journey, and they're young, so just make sure that they're having fun and they stay
right,
engaged, and it
right,
doesn't become an obligation. I tell you this from experience. My son, um, as you know, at the age of 8, he started training jujitsu, and we pushed him to become essentially a professional by the time that he was 18. 10 years plus, like, school jujitsu or school homework jujitsu tournament every other weekend. And I'm not talking about local, I'm talking about nationally,
yeah. I
internationally.
know. I
So,
kept track of his career.
right. The moral of the story is simply this. If I could do it all over again, I would do it the same way, because I always looked at it like this. I'd rather him, if there was ever any resentment, I'd rather it came from me exploiting his potential, because he really had a natural ability plus the work ethic, versus not doing that. But at the same token, what he helped me learn, especially now with my younger kids, is to just, let their coaches coach them, and let them go at their own pace. You know, do I do I want to build like an athlete factory over here? Of course. That's just the dad in me, and I set the example too, because I train myself, and I've always been competitive and involved in sports and things like that. But with the younger kids now, I had them in it, and it was getting to the point where, like, it was getting tough on them. They were getting hurt a little bit, bruised up, and I was like, you know what? Let's pump the brakes, and we tried some other stuff. So, look, as long as they're having fun and they want to do it, freaking go for it, bro. Go for it, because it's still a very young age. You know, my suggestion is just keep it peppered in with other activities too. That's the best way to really keep them engaged, because they have other things to look forward to. Because jujitsu could become it's an all year round thing, right? You
Right,
can train jujitsu all year round,
right.
but there could be times where you take a little time off, and if they want to play t-ball, because you're saying they're 5, 6 years old, they want to play whatever, something else.
Yeah,
That's a good way to keep them.
my granddaughter does soccer too. So
There you go. That's what my little son does soccer. My daughter does gymnastics. I had him training like pretty full time, and then we gave that a break. But soon I'll be training with them at home, and that's that. But hey, one of those little cats is a monster, yo, and y'all see some potential, get them out there, man.
yeah,
Get them
man.
out there, get them
To be
competing and all
honest,
that, bro. It's fun, man. It's fun.
yeah,
But that's
he's
that. My little 2 cents there, Lady G. My bad, man. He started talking about one of my favorite subjects over here.
Yeah, it's just I'm of the opposite thought process. Like, I support my kids and whatever they want to do, but you know, I'm not I'm not going to push them, because I know what it is for something that I love to become a job, and then I lose interest and don't want to do it anymore. So my thing is, I will support whatever you want to do, but if you don't make it, it's because you didn't do what you needed to do. I'm not going to be the one doing it for you. So
Yeah, in my house, I always preached academics and athletics,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, those are two very, very, very realistic opportunities for my children to be able to do more for themselves.
yeah,
No
I
matter
totally
no
agree.
matter no matter how much money I have or don't have. If I was a billionaire right now, I would teach my children how to go out and be billionaires versus living on my money.
Yeah,
That's the kind of mentality that I have. So the academics and the athletics, to me, they go hand in hand. And I'm the type of guy, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it, and we're going to get it done. But to your point, I've become a lot more a lot more self-aware and a lot more conscious of not being over the top with it.
Yeah.
I can't say that I could fully like take my foot off the gas pedal when it comes to that. But I'm the type of person, like, for example, my daughter got out of gymnastics today. My wife will be like, "Oh, this was pretty good. You look good over there." And I'll just be like, "Oh, okay. You need to work on this and you need to work on that."
Mm.
So I guess it balances itself out, but that doesn't mean I'm not supporting her or I'm not, I go how they go, right? That's what I tell them. You want to do something, show me you want to do it, and then we're going to get it done. But I'm not into the, oh, you want to try this and then you're going to quit, or you don't want to go to practice, or,
No,
oh,
definitely not. Definitely not.
yeah, that's not.
Like,
That's not, because I believe in the academics and the athletics. That's how you get scholarships. That's how
yeah,
you could, listen.
but not everybody's set up that way.
Right. Not everybody's wired like that. But if you look at the NCAA commercial, they'll tell you, you know, they have they have, I don't know, 3,000 athletes. Not all of them will go pro in athletes, but just about all of them will go pro in something in life.
Yeah, yeah.
So to me, that's just, it's, I'm from that culture. I guess that's the just the competitive part of me, or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah. And I think everybody was created for something, like we have to have people like you. And there has to be people like Corleone, and there has to be people like me. Because that's what makes the world interesting and helps it to go around. Because like right now, my thing with my youngest is next year she's a senior and then she's going to college, right? So I'm
nice,
one
congrats.
thanks. I'm one of 7 kids. I'm the only one who graduated high school, and then I went to college. And then I was like, what do I want for my kids? So I went back to college again and got my master's degree. So I've I've far exceeded my expectations and other people's expectations of me. So in that vein, my daughter wasn't, until recently, wasn't really interested, either one of them actually.
Do you expect the same thing from her?
See, that's the thing. Expectation, if you continue to have too high of an expectation, you're always going to be disappointed or
I was
let.
just I was just looking for a yes or no answer.
Oh, I apologize.
No, don't need to apologize. Only because that's all. I just wanted just an honest yes or no. Do you expect her to achieve the same academics that you did?
Expect no, hope yes.
Okay. Now, when you say hope, because I can understand that perspective, right? You hope, but are you doing everything in your power to push that, to push her
Oh,
to the limit?
definitely, definitely.
So
Like
you,
I'm promoting it. I'm promoting it. Like this is the statement I made to her. You have to go to college. Once you get there, we can reevaluate, because I have realized college is not for everybody.
how does an ultimatum become hope? That sounds like an expectation.
To better herself, that is the expectation. But to do what I did is not the
There's
expectation,
nothing wrong with you expecting that, by the way. I want you to say that you expect her to do it, because if you did it, why can't she?
because she's not me.
I get it, but does that mean that we can impose our will as much as we can? Isn't
I
that our parental duty?
I won't know. I don't think so. So we can agree to disagree on that one. But no, I don't think that that's the duty, because I exceeded, like I said, I exceeded expectations. My mother's only expectation of me was to not be pregnant at 16 years old, and to not become a drug addict and locked up and all that kind of stuff. So that was her expectation. And so no, as her parent, yes, I will guide her. I will be an example for her. I will be strong with her. I will show her and support her. But at the end of the day, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. And I
No, no,
don't have.
no, no. I wish that were the case. My son passed when he graduated high school. He graduated with a 3.9,
Hmm.
maybe an 8, worst case scenario. From high school, the kid never cracked a book open and, like, had to put minimal effort, just like naturally smart. Um, and wrestled his senior year to enhance his jujitsu, and he could have gone to a local, college or so. Look, my son passed on college. I didn't impose my will on him because I didn't go to college, but I didn't have the opportunities that he did at that same point in time. By the time I was 18, I don't want to say it was too late for me, but I dropped out of high school when I was a freshman. So, with that said, it was hard for me to really put, but his mother did graduate from college. So there was an example there. There was an example there in his life.
Yeah.
So with that said, it made it a little bit harder for me to do so, but I was encouraging it and
Oh
trying to
yeah.
set it
Encourage
up, and
every day.
so forth and so on. But I felt because I wasn't able to accomplish what I was asking of him, that it made it difficult for me. But he also and then I also set an example for him where I've showed him that without going to college, you can still, go on in life and do good things, like his father
Yeah.
has. I'm
Yeah.
I'm very blessed that I've been able to have, careers in my life. Obviously, we've all had jobs, but I've had careers. I have one now. I own a small business. So yeah, college isn't for everybody. I get that, but
Mhm.
um, I guess because you have that badge, and yeah, you were the outlier. You exceeded expectations. You were the one that broke the mold. Um, I get it. Obviously, we just met. You don't have to take what I say um, in any capacity. As a way to do things, but I think that you've earned that, and you know you can press her if you want to, and not have to feel like perhaps you're doing too much. I don't know, that what you accomplish is a big deal, and if you're trying to help her get
It
there,
is.
that's a good example, and I would be using that, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's what I'm saying. Like I help her, I encourage her. Again, the there is that expectation that you at least have to start. Once you get there, let's check things out, see how it goes, see whatever. And then we can reevaluate. But you can't just decide not to go, even if it's a community college. I don't care. But I'm not gonna. I can't. I won't.
Online courses, for crying out loud, I tell
Yeah,
my
yeah,
son,
yeah. But
an
that's what I'm
online
saying.
course is like
Like
two grand, man.
I'm
That's
not gonna
nothing.
deal. I'm not gonna deal with just sitting around doing nothing, working. At just anything just because you feel like it. No, you have to at least apply yourself. But in the end of the day, she is not me, and I
Is
think
she
I
she is
think
she's a good student? I mean, she did good. She did
no,
well in high
has
school.
no, she has ADD and inattentive ADD, not even hyperactive. She is inattentive. So unfortunately, as a student, she has been consistently inconsistent. I mean, she is a good student, especially now that she's older. She's A's and B's, and she has some C's. And
Okay,
honestly,
that changes things for sure. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah,
that's a different layer that changes perspectives,
yeah.
because
Like if it was her, like for your son, like you said, he didn't even have to crack a book. Some people,
yeah, that's
gonna,
the
and
part
I'm
that got underneath my skin right there. Like, man, and he's still young though. Don't get me wrong, and he's got a game plan. Um, but I'll be honest with you, all that pushing that I did for those 10 plus years with the school and his
sure it was
training and
helpful.
the traveling, he
Sure,
kind of just wanted a break once he was done with high school for a little bit, you
yeah,
know, just to kind of like breathe a little bit.
yeah,
And then COVID happened. And then
yeah.
COVID happened. He graduated COVID year. His
Oh,
graduation was wild, yo. We barely
while
had it.
other kids were doing bad because of COVID, she actually excelled in COVID.
From home.
Yes,
That's
she did.
good.
Well, because with inattentive ADD, um, you need more time to get things done. She's one of the, and it's so funny because I have to be totally honest and transparent. Because of my daughter, I found out that I actually have struggled with ADD, inattentive ADD, my whole life, and never knew it. So I am so grateful to her. Not that I am glad that she had to struggle with it, but it makes so much sense now. But the thing is, she's one of those people, like, she's what, you know how you walk across the street and the cars are coming and you either speed up to miss the car or you just kind of wait or whatever.
Right.
No, homegirl will walk across the street like a turtle, and she don't care if a car is coming or not. She makes them wait for her. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, do you have no urgency? Like, she has no urgency. But I also
Wow.
realize it's a part of this inattentive ADD, and it is impactful, and it only gets worse as you get older as far as impact in your life. Um, I've lost jobs, and the funny thing is, I'm a person with a well, one of my sorority sisters says self-righteous grandstander, but so I have high integrity, in me. So for me, it's like my goal is always to be doing the right thing, always to do my job, always, so much so that me doing my job calls attention to the people who aren't doing their job. And so I have a tendency to be hated, and that's all right. I'm okay with that.
No,
But
we're two peas in a pod when it comes to that. I could relate to that. Please, you kidding me?
even
It's
now, even now in the job that I do, they had to move me because all of my coworkers were having difficulty with me and hating on me and stuff, and causing a hostile environment because me actually getting my work done, because we have remote days and stuff. Like, we have like one day a week we could work from home, and the norm was all the work wasn't getting done. So then I come on the scene. I get my remote day. All of a sudden I'm banging out all my work. And the supervisor's like, what's going on here? Why is this so inconsistent? People telling me they can't get their work done. So now they're checking up on people. And again, they're hating me even more. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry that just because I'm home, I actually get my work done, because because of the ADD, I actually have to sit down and focus, but I also serve the community, and for me that's of the utmost importance. And I have a job that, people get burnt out really quickly, but my thing is, it's about integrity. It's about, if you don't want to do this job, then you better keep it moving and get out, because these are people's lives on the line, and I'm not willing to have somebody suffering and without, just because I don't like their attitude, or just because I don't feel like working that day. It don't work like that. Because if it was you, you sure as crap would be on the phone, hemming and hawing and getting mad if you're not getting this and you're not getting that. So yeah. So it's been a tough road, and that's why I don't stress her. I don't, like, my thing is, I have expectations. Yes, as a mother, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, to the point where she can't wait till she's 18.
but right now, see, I was leaning towards one way,
Yeah.
right? I was leaning towards you pressing her because you got your masters. Then I was leaning towards the fact that obviously I'm sensitive to her having the, but then you tell me that you realized through her that you
That
self
I also
struggled with
have it.
it,
So she's
and then
capable.
we're
Yes.
still able to accomplish what you did. So
Definitely. But I also I grew up at a different time.
that's
And
that's
I grew
that's
up,
two bullets in the chamber now that you got there.
yes, I know. Um, but when I grew up, especially in the Latino community, there was no such thing as ADD, no such thing as therapy, no such thing as medication.
Gluten
Like,
free,
what was that?
gluten free.
Yo, man, get out of here. I'm cooking one meal.
Corleone,
You
Corleone, you
don't cook
gluten
what
free.
I
Tell me you
eat, you're
gluten
gonna
free,
go
man.
hungry.
I'm gluten free.
Yo, these kids these days, I can't with you. But so
No
those types of things,
MSG.
yeah, those types of things, yes, I'm still the same old mom that my mother was and all this stuff. Um, but I don't, like, I know the suffering and the struggling that I went through. Like, I almost got kicked out of college, right? and did, you know, and didn't know why. So the thing is, I went through some unnecessary crap. So yes, I did accomplish it because I had that drive, and I lost my mom when I graduated high school, before I graduated college, right? So I've been on my own since I was about 20, 21, like totally on my own. No parents, no nothing. So she doesn't have that situation. She has both parents. So her situation is very different than mine. And I don't ever want her to have to live the life that I lived, just for an expectation that she do what I did. I'm going to hope, and I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to continue to encourage, and I'm going to provide her the resources. But at the end of the day, I guess this is, some people look down on me for it. But at the end of the day, I did my work. It's up to her to do her
Yeah.
work.
Oh, I feel the same. As
It's
soon as
up to
my
her. If
oldest
she
turned
if she
18,
fails and
I,
falls on her face, that's on her. That's on her, not me.
yeah, I hope and pray that he did this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, and here he is. He's actually about to be 22 now.
Mm.
22 in January. He turns 22. So, and he's figuring it out. I thank God he doesn't have any drug addictions. He doesn't have any kids. He's actually got a very nice girlfriend. She's in college. She's studious. And he's figuring it out. I miss him.
I'm just
He's back up there.
I'm just
But
glad I'm just glad all my kids are doing them the right way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my starting from my oldest, she's 30. Um, she's got a master's in social work, and she's got a degree in national security. She works for a facility, you know what I'm saying, and she does, case management. She does a whole bunch of good things, with these people that she works for. My son is a chef. Um, my two other daughters, one's an RN, the other one's a cosmetologist. She does all that hair and nails and all that other stuff. Really works at a spot. She does really well. And my youngest is in college. So all of them are doing what they need to do. Four of them are parents. They're just living their lives. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their crib. Everybody has their careers. Everybody has. I have no complaints. You know what I'm saying? They've all made me proud. And
that's what's up, big bro.
you
Hey,
know,
like she said, man. You did your job. At the end of the day, you
Life
can't
is a crapshoot. Life is a crapshoot. Because I'm sorry, you could give your kids all the support. You could be the best parent, like the best
right.
parent,
And
and your
and they
kids
and they,
still
they're gonna
turn
turn
out
out
to
how they're
be,
gonna turn out.
yeah, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. The thing is, you can only do your best. Because again,
absolutely.
I've seen people who have done crappy jobs as a parent, and their kids are some of the best kids. Like, they're successful, they're got good heads on their shoulders. And then I've seen some of the best parents who have all education, who have all money, all resources, and their kids ain't nothing but bums. So at the end of the day, it's like, I can only do my job. After my job is done, it is up to you to take what you've been taught and run with it. And I've been very blessed. My older daughter, she's 34 now, and she was like, no college, no nothing. She was rebellious. She ran, like, she just ran. She didn't do she didn't do nothing. I paid for her to go to school a couple times, like bartending, doing all this stuff. She dropped out of everything, and so I was scared. She married somebody that I actually liked. He was a kid in one of my programs. They've been married 13 years now, and I have a 1-year-old granddaughter, and she is now a dental assistant. So I
Nice.
mean, so
That's it. People figure it out. They
yeah,
figure it out.
they find their way. They find their way.
Yeah.
And my little one, she's got a good head on her shoulders. I don't know what life has in store for her, but
So
I'm leaving it in God's hands, man.
yeah, I get it. So we have we running the table here. It's already we've been on for a while. This is some good shit.
And
So
you're already
real
on
quick,
question number 2.
I know, and I got a weird one.
I had to
I
catch
got
a
a
little
weird
snack over here, man. I was like, yo, all this talking making me hungry.
one. The next one is actually it's weird because it says you've spoken about these topics before. I just don't remember when I heard them or where I heard them. But I would like to know from your experience and your co-host experience are these 2 questions. And I remember speaking about this before. The one question is, how do you feel about what Chris Rock said in one of his stand-up shows? And I know what she's talking about. So I talked about it before, but I guess she wants to hear it. And you guys are on a roll, so I'm gonna let y'all take it.
I don't even know what Chris Rock said, so I don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you right now. So he said this. He said, only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. But a man, wait a minute, but a man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. What do you think of that?
I think that's not true.
Tolerance, you're looking around like you're thinking.
I think that's 100% true.
I don't.
Because if you're not providing something, then what you're worthless. We're not even talking about money. Providing something, love, support, comfort. I don't know.
But it's the same thing. But you don't think it's the same thing for a woman? If she's not providing something for the man, then he's not going to love her unconditionally?
Okay. There are circumstances and relationships where all the woman has to provide is sex, and that's good enough. That's not the same situation for men. And I don't want to get into the topic of sex. I'm just saying,
Right.
a man has to provide something. If not, he's worthless.
But that doesn't mean that the partner thinks that he's worthless. Okay, again, I can only use my situation. I can't speak for other people.
Well, if let's just say, yeah, let's not get into specific relationships, but let's say just in general, right? If you're not bringing something to the table, something, one thing, then what is your worth? What is the worth of a relationship? Like what like why?
Yeah, but they didn't say about the worth. They said that they can't be loved unconditionally, but they can be. They can still be loved unconditionally.
What was the question?
All right, it was this. It was they say only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally, but a man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
Okay, so yeah, in order to provide, you have to provide something. You have to provide something. This is my perspective. Simply, I look at it like this. I don't need anything from my family. I'm the one that like, I'm sorry, not that I don't need anything from my family. Like, all I need for them is to be there, right? All I need for them is to be there. But the other way around, they count on me to support them. And I'm not saying that my wife doesn't, but emotionally, financially, physically, like I don't want to say a real man, but most men would just take all that responsibility on themselves and look at it that way. Like at the end of the day, whatever, my wife and I are equal. She works, I work. She does great with the kids. But if she did none of that, and let's just say she just stood home with the kids, which is a lot. But if she wasn't educated and had her degrees and have her career, if she didn't help me out, like I would still like love the shit out of my family. I don't think if it was the other way around, that it would be the same. And my wife loves me for who I am. My wife met me at my darkest moments. But in my mind, I couldn't fathom like accepting their love if I wasn't providing for them. is what
Okay.
I'm saying. It's more
So,
of a me thing,
but that's
you know?
different.
It's more
Yeah,
of a me
that's
thing.
different. It's not that you can't be loved unconditionally. It's that you feel that you wouldn't deserve that unconditional
But
love.
that's how people are looked up. But that's how men are
No,
looked upon, though.
and
That's the
I'm here to
question.
tell you that's not true
I
because
mean,
that's
you
from
could. You're
your
right. I'm not going to argue your opinion, but I would say that you're in the minority.
but it's still but it because there is a minority, it totally cancels out that statement because there's that exception to the rule. So yes, a majority of people that may be the thing, but again, I have witnessed not just in my life but in other people's lives, people, women who have loved their man unconditionally, and in reality he was not providing anything of value.
And how long did that relationship last, or those relationships last?
Well, mine lasted 16 years. um Other people, it varies, months, years. Again, it's about self-awareness, about self-respect, self-love, self-esteem, because
And
I'm
those are the
sorry.
things that we learn and grow upon,
Yeah, but
through
not
the.
everybody does. Not everybody does. There are still women who the man beats the crap out of them and they still love them unconditionally. They would lay down their life for this man. And that's an unfortunate reality as well.
Certainly is.
It
All
shouldn't
right.
have to be that way, but it is.
Yeah. No.
So I respectfully
Unfortunately.
disagree with the statement.
You what?
I said, so I respectfully disagree with Chris Rock's statement.
All right. Tolerance.
He agrees.
Oh, you agree with it?
Yeah. To me, it comes down to a yes or no.
All
Like,
right.
it's yes. I agree. Like, of course, that you can't stereotype or categorize everyone, but I think that the majority of people would look at it that way.
All right.
Would
All
look at
right.
it. I mean, well, and here's the other thing. It's not fair to categorize the children, the dog, and the significant other all in one group. First of all,
Those
dogs are amazing. They love unconditional. That's number one. Number two, if you're a halfway decent dad or mom, your kids are going to love the crap out of you. That's
Mhm.
number two, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
So we're really talking about the significant other. That's what we're really talking about here. Is the significant other going to really love you? And here's the thing: love covers up so much. Because somebody loves you doesn't necessarily mean that they respect you.
Right.
Because somebody loves you doesn't necessarily mean that they trust you.
Right.
Because you want to know something? Those things are betrayed, broken, or taken advantage of during love.
Mm-hmm.
So, love, that little four-letter word, likes to mask up a lot of things. Yeah, of course, if you're with somebody for 16, 20, 15, 10 years, if you have children with them, you're going to love that person to the day that they die. Probably whether you're with them or not, you're going to have some sort of love for them. But does that mean you're going to respect them? Does that mean you want to be with them?
Not necessarily.
Bro, you
So,
deserve your own Spanish show on his own Spanish channel show right now, like the fucking dude that did the astrology shit. You sound like you're really in depth
Walter
right now, B.
Mercado.
Yo, my man right now, he's in tune. Yo, go ahead, keep going.
I'm just saying, because look, that's just those are the reality of life. That's just
Oh,
how,
so you're gonna love this next question then.
love covers a lot. And yeah, it's easy to say, okay, I will love that person no matter what. Gosh, it takes a lot to like unlove somebody once you really love them, no matter what happens, regardless of how things end up happening,
Gas
right?
pedal,
Because love is
coño.
a real thing. But outside of love, is there respect? Is there trust? Is there, can you count on that person? How much, how safe do you feel? You know, we talked about accountability. Didn't we open up the show talking about accountability? How can
Absolutely.
you're not going to hold somebody accountable for not bringing anything to the table? I'm sorry.
I could
To
bring a
me,
bucket of chicken. I could bring a 12-piece.
okay, if that gets it done for the family, bro, for the night, and that's the best you could do, and you feeding the fams, then so be it. You want to know something? Because I grew up on some KFC.
No doubt.
My KFC, my mom used to make pollo guisado every
Oh,
day, or for the most part, because it was the cheapest thing to do. And then when she didn't want to cook, she would send me to KFC to get more chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like once a week. So I ain't mad at that.
damn, I miss
But
my mom, and she was she could definitely whip it up, B. Yeah.
so yeah, man, I'm gonna have to agree with Chris Rock, man. You know, men are looked upon differently if they can't bring anything to the table and provide, man.
So
They are not.
you're really gonna like this last question. It's definitely gonna kick it off. All right. So, hold on. Here we go. You ready? I'm ready.
Shoot.
Can a person raised on love handle a person raised on survival?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, that of course, definitely. You get all
So,
kinds of crazy. You get all kinds of different backgrounds that really do work it out. That really do work it out. You get all kinds of people.
And the whole, you know what, and this is just again my experience. I can only like in my life, in my profession, like all that. The thing is, things work when everybody doesn't come to the table with the same tools, right? So the opposites attract really does work, and it works if people work it well. Because it's like you're supposed to complement one another. You're supposed to, where I'm weak you're strong, and vice versa, you know. And that makes this relationship, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, even a parenting, you know, thing with the kids, it's like people pick up where others leave off, and then that creates this whole well-rounded relationship in person.
but if a person that wasn't raised on love but strictly survival, like learning how just surviving through life without that love, how do you expect them to relay that love back if they've never, you know what I'm saying,
Willingness, open-mindedness, they have to be willing to accept that in, because when people, like, you can only beat somebody over the head so long before they either run away or beat you back, you know. Like, if they are with you, clearly they're with you because they have feelings for you, because they see something in you. And that's the whole thing. Like, people go into relationships seeing other people's potential, and that doesn't work. Just seeing somebody's potential, because the reality is they are who they are. People can change, but that's only if they want to, are willing to, and are given the tools to do so.
and who's
So
the one that provides the tools?
you provide them to each other. The person who was brought up in love provides the tools of love to the survivor. And then the survival skills are then taught and brought to the person with love. You know, like it's a give and take, you know, but you have to be open-minded and willing.
I think if it's a relationship where you know the two individuals met at a young age, that could potentially be dangerous down the road. I like that scenario, or I would agree more with your point, Lady G, if it was a relationship that I got into, uh, probably, you know, in my 30s, you know, like right before middle age, right before middle age, simply because I think I think life experience helps out a lot in that situation. If you're looking at it at a perspective from a relationship from a young age, all those things that we're talking about, that stuff's not important at that age. It's just like, yo, I just met this person, I love them, whatever the chemistry was, whatever the connection was, you go with that, and before you know it, now you ended up with this person, 10 years down the road, and you're figuring out like, okay, well, this person is a survivor, and I'm a lover, and are we really compatible versus people that are just more mature, more emotionally mature, and able to handle that, and more importantly, appreciate that, and
Yeah,
then really take full advantage of what the other person is trying to bring out. And
definitely.
on this topic, I will speak a little bit from self experience because my wife was brought up with a lot of love. And that doesn't mean she had a perfect upbringing, but regardless of what her situation was, it was with a lot of love from every angle. Like an example, like some mornings she'd wake up to like a hot cup of chocolate and like Disney songs. That's that's a lot of love. You know what I mean? And so then on the flip side of that, I'm the survival guy. I was running the streets at the age of 12 years old, like really running the streets, not like out in the streets, like doing things that 12-year-olds, like I couldn't even fathom my children doing the things that I was
Oh
doing at that age.
God, definitely.
So, and you're from Camden, so
Yeah.
we could have a whole nother episode
Oh
on
God.
that. But um, the moral of the story is had I met her at a younger age, I don't think we would have been able to appreciate that from one another,
Yeah.
right? Now we met later on in life, and it was just like a perfect balance because A, I wasn't in survival mode anymore,
Hmm.
but I have been through it enough to be aware of my surroundings and be that person in the relationship that's constantly looking over their shoulder because of my upbringing, to the point where, yeah, it could be a little obnoxious, but it also makes sense because of the society that we live in. You know what I mean? If I'm in a department store, I got my head on a swivel.
Hmm.
You follow? My wife believes more in humanity. You
Yeah.
follow?
Yeah.
So we become, but had we met at a younger age, perhaps we would have not even seen those traits, those those qualities
You
in one
probably
another, and then been
crossed.
able to take care of it. So, it depends where in life you run into that kind of scenario. But if it's done at a young age, I don't. It could be disastrous simply because, again, I go back to what I said before. You wake up one day and you realize, yo, I'm this kind of person and that's that kind of person, and we ain't clicking. Like, and now we got kids, we got potentially grandkids, whatever the case may be. We got a mortgage, we co-signed on 2 cars because life makes us want to do the right things regardless of how we got there. We all get to that point where like life presents us and it's knocking on our front door, and we're like, okay, we got to this point, we're going to move forward, and we're going to do what we can. But you know I don't know, I think it comes down to really like at what point in life you come across that scenario. you know I don't think it could. I know a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people, but what happens is typically when you meet with those two different ends of the spectrum at that young of an age, that represents that you're not from the same area, that you're not from the same, right? Because in other words, birds of a feather flock together, right? Is that the saying? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I came from a broken home. Like 98% of the people I grew up with and were around also come from a broken home.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
therefore, if if um if you run into somebody that was raised on that kind of pure love, that means you met this person somewhere outside of your circumference, outside of your area, your zone where you used to be in. And then what ends up happening is do you, when those two worlds collide, does it make sense? Does it work out? You understand what I'm saying? You guys follow what I'm saying on this one here?
Yeah, I get you.
I
You
Totally.
know what I mean?
agree with that. I honestly agree with that.
In other words, it's like, you from the hood, you go to a club that night, a dope ass club, and you meet some chick that's from another state, sort of say, and she from a nice neighborhood and a nice family, and y'all end up, and when those worlds collide and things start to evolve, and it could be potentially dangerous. You know what I'm
That
saying?
normally happen when we
Also,
chilled out as shooters.
yeah, but you also might not want to have that person in your world because of who they are.
True.
Like when I was young, I would never in a million years have introduced my ex-husband to anybody in my hood, in my family. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I always made it a point to date outside of my hood when I was young. I really, they would really. Do you know the only one? And I don't want to say no names over here, nothing. But Los, there was just one local back in the old neighborhood. That's how I met you. Matter of fact, wasn't it? Right, hanging out in downtown.
Nah. Me and you met at the park. Basketball courts.
Gregory.
Gregory, absolutely.
Okay.
That's how we. That's how we. I was rolling with O'Brien and Biscuit and them, and you rolled up one day, and then we started chilling, and it was me, you, O'Brien, and shaving our heads, going down to Seaside and acting a fool, and you know what I'm saying, insane asylums and shit like
Crazy.
that. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, me and him and a bunch of people ran up inside an abandoned insane asylum in, what was it, Edison, New Brunswick?
It was in Perth Amboy.
Perth Amboy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a target. It's a target now.
Jesus Christ.
A target. Oh God.
I'm not surprised, bro.
It's a target now. But do you remember, really quick before we chat? Do you remember how we rolled up in there that night? We didn't have flashlights. We lit up torches, bro.
Yeah. Bro,
that whole place could have went burning down, and we would have been stuck in that motherfucker just in an insane asylum.
Brother,
we
you
were
couldn't.
crazy.
I wouldn't do that now. My life depended on it, bro. You wouldn't catch me dead going up into something like
that. Oh man.
Yo, I was talking to my wife about that. The kid, bro. I was about to have a heart attack to go on a Ferris wheel the other day, bro. The Ferris wheel. A Ferris wheel, my guy.
Wow. Oh man.
And it had the cage. And I still
was like, my God, you were still shook?
What?
Yeah,
bro?
You won't catch me on a Ferris wheel like that. Them big.
Yo, bro, wheels. It's a Ferris
my
wheel.
Knees, my knees start to hurt
all day long. What you talking about?
My knees start to hurt.
Man.
Oh shit! But look, man. We this was a great show. It was a good time.
This is my
I really appreciate Tolerance coming through. He's gonna be here a lot more often.
For sure.
Lady G, we appreciate you coming through. I know you're gonna be a staple, just like Tolerance is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a lot more time. So what we're gonna do is this. All right. We're gonna say goodnight. Don't disconnect after the show ends. Okay. Stay on. All right.
Yo, but can you do me one more favor though before we say goodnight?
What's up?
Can you take off that whack ass Washington's hat?
Shut the fuck up, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Throw that shit. Where's the trash can? Put it right there in the trash can.
Nah. Oh, real quick. Brought to you by Monster, sugar-free energy.
Nice.
You know, and that's about it.
Working on those sponsors.
Yeah. Well, I'm Big Corleone.
Highest Tolerance.
And Lady G.
And this has been another episode of the This Might Hurt podcast. We are out. Peace out, people. Peace.